Hello everyone, my name is 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗏, and I'm with the product marketing team. Welcome to today's session on how Citrix improves hybrid work with Windows 365 and Azure Virtual Desktop. The session is intended to drive conversations with your customers, positioning Citrix DaaS with Azure and Windows 365 as the best solution for delivering apps and desktops. The intended audience for today is a decision maker familiar with Citrix and Microsoft VDI technologies. So today we're going to take an under-the-hood look on how Citrix and Microsoft have partnered to make the world of hybrid and remote work better. Better for your users, better for your IT team, and better for your budget. This is a timely topic and familiar territory for Citrix and Microsoft. Making the work experience better is what we've been doing together for over 30 years. Over the last 30 years, Citrix has developed a deeply embedded relationship with Microsoft and has therefore continued to build upon the Microsoft platform. Dating back from the terminal server all the way to cloud PCs of today, thousands of organizations worldwide trust Citrix and Microsoft to streamline IT. Our joint solutions are in use by more than 400,000 organizations, including 99% of the Fortune 500, with over 110 million users across the globe. I don't think any of us need convincing that the nature of where and how people get work done has changed. Where we once had neat and tidy boundaries of work and home, flexible working is now here to stay, and it presents unique IT challenges. Of course, work is happening everywhere. I'd be willing to bet less than half of you are watching this session at the office. Some of you at home, some might be in a public location, and who knows what type of device or connectivity you're on. But suffice to say, many of us are outside IT's secure perimeter. But what hasn't changed is our expectations. We still want everything to work seamlessly, connections to be reliable, and app performance to be exceptional. Add in high-performance 3D CAD apps or employees working in the field, and the pressure on IT to deliver gets even higher. And let's not forget about cyber threats. They need no introduction. Pick any research study about remote work and cyber threats, and it's a sobering reality. KPMG, for example, finds that 60% of executives say remote work has led to increased risks. They talk about an endless threat loop of fraud, compliance risks, and traditional cyber threats. So given this new reality, let's look at how we tackle these challenges. Citrix DaaS, the cloud-managed evolution of Citrix app and desktop VDI service, is really at the center of how we enable secure remote work. I think by now we all know what desktop as a service is, how it solves flexible work challenges, and why so many IT leaders are investigating DaaS solutions today. We could cover an entire session on DaaS alone, but today we're focused specifically on how Citrix solutions bring exceptional value when paired with Microsoft's Azure Virtual Desktop and Windows 365. AVD and Windows 365 are both great ways for making cloud VDI and cloud PCs available to users. But you can accomplish so much more when you bring Citrix into the mix. Today we're going to highlight some of those specifics, which include creating a hybrid cloud architecture for DaaS that lets you continue to use your on-premises investments and legacy apps while simultaneously taking advantage of the flexibility, scale, and performance that Azure has to offer. Making the entire administration effort behind app and desktop delivery more efficient, easier, scalable, and more repeatable for IT. Giving your employees a user experience that is second to none. And also improving security across the entire stack, at rest and in flight, with stronger adaptive authentication and zero trust. And lastly, reducing cloud operational costs and complexity so you can preserve more of your budget and limited IT resources. So with that, let's jump right in and talk about hybrid cloud. The on-premises data centers, which almost all of us have, present both a challenge and an opportunity when it comes to modernizing app and desktop delivery. On-prem, we have legacy multi-tier apps, existing Citrix and Microsoft VDI deployments, and a lot of investment in hardware that we can't easily or affordably walk away from. Yet we understand that the future investments and the best solutions coming out are happening in the cloud. And that separation is exactly where Citrix becomes so valuable, in helping you build hybrid cloud deployment for app and desktop delivery. Citrix allows you to build a hybrid infrastructure that fully supports Windows 10 and Windows 11 multi-session desktops in Azure. using integrated tools and services that simplify and speed your transition to the cloud, all while leveraging Azure Virtual Desktop license entitlements. Managing your cloud investments in one place with Citrix simplifies capacity planning, scaling, administration, and monitoring. Let's take a look at the architecture that makes this possible. Here we can see how you can use Citrix DAS to create the best hybrid cloud architecture that manages Azure and on-premises resources. All of this from a single pane of glass for admins and delivered through a single experience for users, regardless of where the apps and desktops are hosted. We can deliver Windows and Linux apps or desktops from a broad array of platforms with the best possible performance, scalability, and flexibility. Citrix technologies like Advanced Autoscale help control costs, while Citrix Analytics provides visibility into performance and security. And everything we're describing has been developed with the Azure platform in mind, so you know it's been tested and proven in a hybrid cloud environment, leveraging the latest innovations. Azure is incredibly powerful, but we need to be smart on how we allocate and power manage virtual machines in order to avoid overspending. That's where Citrix Advanced Autoscale comes in. Not only could you use schedule-based and load-based settings to control machine power states, but you can also create cloud burst scenarios, dynamically provision and deprovision machines based on capacity requirements, and intelligently log off and drain users from hosts where sessions are idle. Keeping the number of VM templates to a minimum is another key win for IT efficiency. Citrix app layering ensures that you only need to manage single instances of base OSs, application portfolios, and tools to efficiently compose your images. This is a huge time saver, avoiding the need to manage updates to Microsoft Office and other applications across dozens of individual golden images. In a typical hybrid environment, you have on-premises VM images, cloud VM images, and they are distinctly separate, but not anymore. With Citrix Image Portability Service, it allows you to easily transfer VM images from on-premises environments to cloud environments across Citrix proven provisioning technologies, enabling cloud burst and migration strategies. And finally, Workspace Environment Management, also known as WEM, optimizes VM resources for fair sharing on multi-user hosts. With WEM, you see faster logon times, improved scalability, and strict enforcement of policies. Not using WEM is literally leaving money on the table, as baseline configurations typically save customers 10 to 15% in cloud consumption, while improving user experience. Autoscale allows you to dynamically power on and off workloads based on schedule, load, or burst scenarios. With schedule-based scaling, for example, you know that you'll need the bulk of your resources from 8 to 5. You can insert those time parameters for your machines to run within that time frame. And with load-based scaling, you can dynamically scale by powering on/off machines as load increases or decreases. It can work in conjunction with schedule-based scaling by keeping a capacity buffer available so that new users coming in don't have to wait for machines to power on. This is also great for disaster recovery scenarios if you need to move users over quickly without downtime. So at the end of the day, Autoscale is about cost savings and admin flexibility. The admin interface of the configuration of Autoscale is in Studio and Citrix Cloud. And things such as cost savings, capacity, utilization, and power logs will also be in Monitor in Citrix Cloud, all in one single place. Let's now take a look at the user experience side of the equation. Lots of vendors offer DAS and Cloud PC desktops, but just presenting a user with a desktop isn't enough. We need to consider what performance that desktop looks like when running interactive voice and video applications, multi-monitors, industry-specific peripheral devices, performance over challenging network conditions. And only Citrix delivers the best user experience with our HDX suite of user experience technologies. Unmatched in the industry, you can count on your most demanding workloads and apps being delivered with responsive sessions and full functionality to any type of device, including thin or zero clients. And when it comes to optimizing Microsoft Teams, this is a space Citrix pioneered with Microsoft over a decade ago. Teams optimizations ensures your sensitive data remains secure in your desktop images, while voice and video offload take place securely over the broadest array of devices, including Windows, Mac, Linux, and Chromebooks. delivering a near-native experience, ensuring that meetings stay productive. And to ensure you're working more proactively instead of reactively, there's Citrix Analytics for Performance, a cloud-delivered tool built in Azure that predicts problems and areas of interest in your environment while also automatically assessing each user's performance with a unique score and impacting factors. You don't have to wonder if your cloud environment is delivering a great user experience. Citrix Analytics gives you the data to show your IT leaders that it is. Creating greater user experience within Citrix HDX technologies has always been a key differentiator of Citrix, and something we continue to invest in and partner with Microsoft on. Earlier this year, Citrix announced Citrix HDX Plus for Windows 365. And HDX Plus elevates the cloud PC experience with key Citrix technologies. Some of these include optimizations for unified communication and telephony solutions when running in a cloud PC, advanced graphics and multimedia app performance, and an intelligent protocol that dynamically increases throughput, making Windows 365 truly adaptive, even on low bandwidth and high latency connections. Also, Citrix HDX Plus has single sign-on integration with industry vendors like Okta, Ping, and a large variety of identity providers. It includes MFA solutions, all of them Citrix Ready certified, which makes it easier for IT to integrate Windows 365 cloud PCs within your enterprise deployments. And because your workforce uses a lot of devices, laptops, thin clients, tablets, and more, Citrix supports all of the industry's broadest array of devices, operating systems, peripherals, to guarantee an exceptional experience across any scenario. When it comes to security, HDX Plus offers granular policy control for Windows 365, including our standard virtual channel controls over client drives, printers, USB, clipboards. Our investment with session recording as a cloud service makes it easier to intelligently record Windows 365 user behavior, and our adaptive access policies can dynamically adjust based on user location. Earlier, we talked about how threats never rest, which is why security is fundamental to everything we do at Citrix. That's also why so many regulated industries like healthcare and finance consistently choose Citrix solutions to protect their sensitive data. Citrix Analytics for Security is built on top of Azure and continually assesses the risk of every user in your organization, along with automated policy controls, reporting, and SIEM integration with solutions like Azure Sentinel. Adaptive authentication is a cloud service that ensures users are securely accessing resources based on how and where they're connecting. It takes a modern approach to device assessment, MFA, and network conditions before determining what the user should have access to, if anything. And session recording is now a cloud-based service that is great not just for security and compliance, but also pinpointing elusive issues that can intermittently occur. You can quickly identify areas of interest based on user activity and user actions that occur, like copy and paste or inserting a flash drive, and review in full fidelity user activities at a later date. And lastly, endpoint devices are inherently insecure, especially unmanaged ones. Citrix App Protection Policies protects your environment from malicious or accidental data breaches by allowing IT to block common points of leakage, like screenshots, screen scrapers, keystroke loggers, and more. We talked at the beginning about how the boundaries of work have dissolved, and everywhere is now an office. The diversity of where and how people work has created a complex landscape of devices and locations for IT to try to control. Now add in mergers, acquisitions, contractors, and constantly changing employee roles. It's easy to understand why managing security, specifically identity and access management, is an immense and overwhelming task. Citrix Adaptive Authentication helps admins implement uniform zero-trust-based identity and access management policies across applications leveraging Citrix DAS for virtualized apps and desktops, and Citrix Secure Private Access for non-virtualized apps like your web and SaaS apps. Adaptive authentication lets you create conditional authentication scenarios, challenging users with different authentication methods based on their device posture, location, and more. For example, users can be challenged with multi-factor authentication when outside the corporate office, but single-factor authentication when in the office. Adaptive authentication also enables admins to selectively turn on and off access settings like clipboard access, printer redirection, They also use watermarking and drive mapping. And remember, these capabilities apply to both virtualized as well as web and SaaS applications. With the use of virtual apps and desktops, the attack surface of endpoints has been greatly reduced because data and apps are now centrally stored in the cloud data center, thus making it harder for the attacker to steal your data. However, a compromised endpoint could capture session keystrokes and information displayed on the device. And Citrix App Protection will greatly reduce the attack surface by preventing bad actors from capturing sensitive data like passwords and personal information directly from the keyboard or screen captures. The value of Citrix DAS lies in its ability to provide real-world cost savings, IT efficiency, and productivity gains. Citrix technologies optimize Azure infrastructure costs, allowing you to realize the greatest return on your investment. First is the CPU and memory optimization with Citrix 𝗦𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗻. This increase in user density by up to 43%, while also ensuring fair sharing of resources in multi-user environments. The next is bandwidth optimization. Only Citrix has the industry's most trusted and efficient remoting protocol, ICA. Now this, along with HDX user experience enhancements for responsive sessions with minimal bandwidth usage, ultimately saves on egress network traffic out of the cloud. And finally, Citrix autoscale and load balancing technologies handle vertical load balancing and machine power management in the most efficient manner possible. Studies have shown that operational costs are often underestimated and can crop up unexpectedly. With Citrix and Microsoft, you can realize a more predictable and greatly reduced operational costs across the entire solution. It all starts with faster fixes to issues and more proactive troubleshooting. Citrix Director Daily Monitoring Console provides the tools needed for both admins and help desk staff to keep users productive. HDX Insights surfaces the network details to answer questions such as which users are consuming the most bandwidth and why. And Citrix Analytics for Performance dynamically groups users by performance score while using automated actions and insights to maximize performance and experience for everyone. Now, managing virtual machine images and applications is a key aspect of the virtual delivery infrastructure. With Citrix, admins get machine creation services and Citrix app layering. Both technologies used to easily manage the lifecycle of hundreds or tens of thousands of VMs, including updates and patching. The more golden VM images you have, the greater the savings can be. And as previously mentioned, only Citrix provides a comprehensive hybrid cloud and workload management from a single set of admin tools. Now, this greatly simplifies operations. Managed DAS on Azure takes simplicity to the next level with complete control and flexibility. Why work with multiple point vendor solutions to meet your business requirements when you can work with just the two trusted names in Citrix and Microsoft? Most native Azure virtual desktop solutions need 2 or more add-ons across these categories to get the job done. That's added expense, another contact point, additional complexity, and potential finger pointing when something goes wrong. Ensure your app and desktop virtualization solution is ready to handle all your key use cases from the start with Citrix and Microsoft. Citrix has always been focused on helping IT increase efficiency. But to put dollars and cents behind it, we partnered with Forrester to have them independently study the benefits of Citrix DAS in Azure. If you're familiar with Forrester's Total Economic Impact Study, you'll know they derive a composite customer profile that closely matches that of a typical large enterprise, which is detailed in the report that you can download at the link in the slides. What Forrester found is that by using Citrix DAS in conjunction with Azure, a company like yours is going to see a spectrum of financial benefits that actually pays increasing dividends year after year. The big takeaway here is that by using Citrix with Microsoft, IT becomes more efficient, onboarding new employees and provisioning apps and devices becomes much faster. Related help desk calls for issues with apps, Windows, and devices goes way down. Employees gain a measurable boost in their daily productivity, and on-premises and license costs are reduced. Adding it all up, that comes to 153% ROI and a $6.7 million in savings over 3 years. Now that's some smart IT economics that you can take to the CFO and to the bank. We know the pressures that IT is under to enable secure hybrid work, fulfill cloud adoption plans, keeping everything secure, and doing it while all keeping an eye at the bottom line. What we've built with Microsoft is the pathway to getting there. Our joint solutions and tools are going to make your team more efficient, allow you to scale faster, strengthen security, and do it all in a way that keeps user experiences amazing while driving down expenses. Thank you, and have a great day.